Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third Broguecast episode, the unofficial Rogue Company podcast. I'm here with Dirt Lord.
I'm here with Co-Reed.
Arbo.
And I'm here with Griffin.
And we're going to start this off hot and heavy, right? Because since the last time we talked, they have released Switchblade and the Switchblade update. So we're going to go through this whole series of unfortunate events that took place. But we're going to hit the high notes first. Switchblade as a character. What do you guys think?
I like her.
I like her.
I mean, yeah.
She's quickly become one of my favorite characters.
She has a good set of weapons, and her passive ability is super effective. I feel it's really good.
Her
Rocket
passive
launcher's very useful.
Her rocket launcher is useful.
Yeah, I like her kit. I like her weapons. Her perks are great. I'm kind of the opposite of Justin here on her passive. I think that like if she shoots her rocket, if she uses any type of equipment, which already activates when you use equipment, but I feel like when you use your rocket launcher, it should activate the ability as well.
Yeah, it should.
It should. That's considered a gadget.
Yeah,
it should be considered a gadget. Okay, I mean, I get your point there, but I do like it because it helps out her SMG a lot. It makes her SMG more vital, I feel, because it gets her closer.
I do love the assault rifle a lot, but the SMG with her play style, because she can be real up close and move pretty quickly, it makes more sense in my opinion.
Do you think that she would have been better with Lancer's shotgun instead of her SMG?
I think it's about even. Because the only reason I say it's about even at this point is because the SMG's been given kind of a boost in the range.
Yeah.
So it's better at mid range, is where the shotgun's just it's not good past close because you're hitting 6 pellets for 1 damage each.
Right. Yeah, I get that.
So
yeah, you kind of have to be like a Lancer style, just be running up in their guts.
I think it might make more sense to have given her a shotgun instead of the assault rifle.
It makes sense with her passive ability if they would have focused solely on close quarters and instead of making her a breacher type character, made her a duelist.
I kind of like the assault weapon too because it also helps out with her RPG because it can be distant as well. So she doesn't have to be close if she doesn't need to be. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And again, the RPG itself is really good because it has that nice little spread. And as long as you aim it correctly and you don't shoot it on yourself, it's really
viable
good.
Against everyone but Scorch.
Yeah.
Yes, Scorch is still immune, which, that sucks when it's the enemy. But when it's the allies and you have a Scorch, oh man, it's beautiful.
I was going to say, it kind of makes sense that you would have a rogue that would counter another rogue. At least one.
Exactly. And that's kind of going in to what I was going to say. They can't really change glitch too much because every time they introduce a new piece of equipment or a new rogue into the game, then glitch is automatically going to be somewhat of a counter to that. So they can't buff him enough to make him out of hand. And it's nice to see that they introduce rogues into the game that actually has counters and gives more, because think about it, Scorch and Demolition is okay. It depends on the map and the circumstances. But once Switchblade gets added into the equation, then it basically makes her like a top tier pick right now, specifically because she's a new release character. So we also got the new arms dealer event with the Switchblade update and the release of Switchblade. What do you guys think about the arms dealer event?
Mine doesn't work.
Well, I was about to say, right now it's not working.
Yeah, it's not counting any of my shit. I'm supposed to get 25 downs, and I've definitely gotten 25. It hasn't counted a single one.
I've been stuck on the 15,000 damage ever since it came out.
That's what happened to. Okay, well, mine was last night.
I swapped over as soon as it came out because I was like
3 shipments, and then now I can't get any more points.
I think it's about stupid that you can't pick more than one.
Just activate them all.
Oh, if we have to talk about that, yeah.
Like any other game ever.
I don't understand the whole you have to pick one at a time. I mean, if they were worried about the being able to get the points for the shipments, they should have just made the shipment points higher.
Yeah, or they should have made all the shipment points lower, but have them all activated simultaneously.
Right, yeah, so that way you're not having to individually pick one out of the 20 they offer you.
Yeah, because you can go in there and do quick maths with everything, and you can statistically add up how much damage that you would need to do versus how many downs that you would get out of doing said damage. And they could have offset the values of some of these shipments or some of these challenges that they have to where you're not just running through one or two game modes and racking up on a lot of points. They could have went in there and actually did work behind the scenes and made it a little bit clearer, a little bit easier to manage and maintain, but also give you a very good sense of grinding without feeling grindy.
What it seems like they're trying to do with just allowing you to pick one at a time is trying to get people just to outright buy it, because a lot of people don't have the time to grind this shit out.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
And the problem with that is, I mean, more than just trying to get people to buy it as opposed to be able to grind it, is that it's not what they're offering in it. It's not worth the money that it would take to buy it out.
No.
In my opinion, I wouldn't pay that much for what they're offering and all that. A few of the skins are pretty cool, but it's just not worth that money to me.
Yes, I agree 100%. I mean, it's supposed to be a mid-season event for a reason. It wasn't released at the mid-season point whatsoever. And now since it's broken, it feels like it's almost pointless to try for it unless you are going to buy the premium shipments, which is, they made it specifically for people that want to pay for it or people that want to grind it. So,
and I wouldn't mind grinding it out.
I mean, some of the stuff in the actual arms dealer is cool, like some of the gun wraps, and I love the Scorch skin. I think the Scorch skin's awesome.
That active camo on that gun.
On the green,
I like that a
I can't
lot.
remember its name,
The
but like
sword.
it's kind of like green, kind of looks like a 3-dimensional type thing. I like that wrap a lot.
Yeah, it'd be nice if I could just buy that in the store.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, instead of us having to do this
Yeah.
challenge that's not allowing us to have things.
So with the update, they also introduced a lot of balance changes to the weapons. Fire rates got increased, damage on certain weapons got increased. Some of the abilities for some of the rogues was changed, increased. What do you guys think of how does the game feel right now with the balance changes introduced into it?
Out of the bugs, it feels pretty good. I like the TTKs so far. I mean, I think the only gun that I've seen that I've had problems with is the range on Chalk shotgun is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous.
Besides that as well, the SMG, like the hand pistol SMGs that Ronin carries,
Yeah.
They don't feel viable anymore.
They are they're weird now. Like they feel
different.
weird. Right. There's something going on with that weapon.
Could be a bug, I don't know, but something's up with it.
I do not get downs with it. That's all I'm saying. Like
Not like I used to. No,
not even close. Like,
yeah. Well, and to me, like, since the warrant and then they added more ammo to like Phantom and Talon's pistol, it's fallen more and more and more out of kind of what you would consider meta at this point. And I don't think that the damage is the problem. I don't think the damage range is the problem. To me, what it feels like is if you just had 5 more bullets in that gun.
Yeah.
At base.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
And then upgrade it to 25 as opposed to just start with 20 and upgrade 25.
Yeah. It would make it feel 10 times better. I agree with this.
15.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
15's barely enough to down one person.
Yeah.
It's rough, man. And if you ever get into a 1v2 or a 1v3 situation,
or you are screwed.
You're stuck in that reload roulette, dude. Like,
I'm better off with
trying to
Dallas's
get away
pistol.
and if you're not using Lancer, you don't get that reload.
I think that everything else feels good. So far, so good anyway. We'll see. As time will tell. Once they get all the bugs and inconsistencies worked out, then we can have a more clear definition of how the game's actually supposed to feel. Because
maybe the best I could say at this point is it's felt worse.
Yeah, I mean, the game overall has felt worse. But whenever the game,
I agree.
When the game's running correctly, everything else feels very balanced for the most part. All right, they introduced in this update as well 6v6 modes. We got King of the Hill, and right now as a limited time mode, we have 6v6 team deathmatch. What do you guys think?
I don't like either game
So
mode.
much going on, dude.
Chaotic as fuck.
The 6v6 King of the Hill is so chaotic because whenever you go to a location, everybody grenades it. Like, it's just, oh.
I think that if you're going to introduce a 6v6, I think Team Deathmatch might have been a better one to start with.
Well, what hurts is also that you can't even get the 6 friends. It's just,
Yeah.
that's what hurts the game the most. Like, you have to get 2 randos every time.
Yeah.
Possibly a bot. You got to bring up the earlier when we were playing with the trip mines.
Yeah, so
Oh, God.
they addressed this in, I think, the Switchblade update, but before this update or whenever it was, there was an issue with sticky sensors and talon darts. So whenever the person would die in King of the Hill or Team Deathmatch, then they would reuse their ability or their gadgets, but they would still stay on the map. The same thing is happening with Trench's trip mines. We played a 6v6 Team Deathmatch earlier, and we were playing on Lockdown. I think that's the name of the map.
Yeah.
And they were in that little like that little passageway, the little quarry
Kobe area on
passageway.
A. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was legitimately from the spawn to that area, I ran into what, 4 to 6
There
of
were
those trip mines
everywhere.
Yeah.
You weren't the only one.
And every time he would spawn, he would just put more down.
Yeah. So
3 more.
the game isn't purging all of the trip mines out of the game whenever either he dies or whenever that trip mine limit is met, because at the most he can have is 3. So realistically, there should ever only be 3 in play at a time that Trench specifically puts down. If he dies and someone picks up his trip mines, then first of all, it should only give them a value of 1 whenever they pick it up on a game mode like that. But also, whenever he starts placing more trip mines, it should start purging all of those old ones from the game. Kind of like on, any other game where you throw something down and you die, it comes back. If you throw it back down, then it's going to take the other one at that location away. So that's a bug that they need to work on. As far as 6v6 is concerned, like, yes, it sucks not playing with 6 people, like queuing with 6 people. Also, it feels, since everybody has their gadgets when they respawn and there's no cooldown for the gadgets, it just feels like whoever can throw the most grenades, whoever can throw the most flashbangs, and whoever gets their ability to cool down faster wins. That's what it comes down to. It doesn't feel skillful at all.
There should be a cooldown for the grenades, just like the ability. Because the fact that they can throw 2 grenades and then die and then respawn and immediately throw 2 more
Just
before
spam
the
them.
other 2 fucking explode.
Yeah.
It's just insane, especially on a King of the Hill where you're trying to capture a point.
Yeah.
And then there's just goddamn grenades flying left and right, and then people could be like, well, you need to have trophy systems. Yeah, but at most you get what? Does Trench have those anymore?
Yeah, and he
Yes.
has 3 at most.
He gets 3, and then Anvil would have 2. But if you've got 12 fucking things flying in at you,
Yeah.
it's not going to help anybody,
It's not
especially if
gonna
they're like
matter.
flame grenades and shit like that.
So I think that they if it was me, in my opinion, they should have introduced either a 5v5 or a 6v6 game mode specifically in Demolition first, because it's a more controlled environment. And then they could have worked all the inconsistencies out with that, because at the end of each round, it purges everything that's on the playing field. So you would be able to work all of your inconsistencies out in Demolition, and it would also add a different play style to Demolition because you would have more people on it. And then you could start transitioning that 6v6 game mode into other areas of the game. To me, it makes more sense logically. They could have kept 4v4 Demolition as a core game mode, but they should have experimented with it more. This all goes back to testing. There wasn't enough testing.
No.
There's never enough testing.
No. Few days. The
Yeah.
weekend.
You get 4 hours.
All on PC, which maybe might have something to do with why the aim assist's broken on the console.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I mean,
What aim assist?
Yeah. So on the heels of this Switchblade update, of course, we had tons and tons of issues. So I'm going to start running through a couple of these issues. So when the update first came out, it says they released a blog post statement, and this was on July the 7th. And this is from Kremir, whatever his name is. But the reason that I go to him is because Rogue Company doesn't post any useful information on their Twitter page, and Gandhi doesn't post any useful information about whatever's going on within the game itself as far as updates, patch notes, and things like that. So I'm going to our boy Kramar, and I'm going to read this. So they released a blog post statement, and I had no idea that this blog post statement was even released. But this is what it says. Hello, Rogues. Our latest update, Switchblade, was not up to the quality level that we expected, and we are working on some key action items. Demolition is currently offline due to 2 major issues that player helped us identify shortly after the update went live on Tuesday. Thanks to player reports after the patch went live, we quickly identified an issue in Demolition where matches were not ending, forcing players to purposely throw to end the round. Compounding this, bomb detonation time was not working as intended, resulting in a lower detonation time than normal. So late Tuesday, following the update, we made the call to turn off ranked while we worked on a resolution. We know this decision has not been without frustration for many of our players, particularly our Switch players. Our goal is to have ranked Demolition re-enabled for all players by the end of the week. In addition to the issues with Demolition, we are also looking into reports of freezes and crashes as well as a bug with the fixer. During this process, your bug reports are crucial for us to be able to continue quickly reproducing and resolving these issues. We know this update didn't quite hit the mark that we wanted, and the team is hard at work fixing these problems to give you the quality experience we demand from our work and you deserve. Thank you, the Rogue Company team. With this,
where'd they put that? Where'd they post that at?
I don't know. It says here that
Yeah, I haven't seen that anywhere.
it's a blog post. I don't even know where their blog is at.
How about the Twitter page tweet that out, or
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it made
Put
more
on
sense.
Reddit
We all
or-
follow them.
Yeah. So that was the apologizing for everything that I guarantee you 99% of the people on Twitter or Reddit have yet to read this. The first time that I read this was when I was getting the notes together for the podcast. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So the Switchblade update comes out Tuesday night, which the update went live on Tuesday. They disabled rank and they disabled demolition because of bugs in the game, which is not something that you want to happen when you release a brand new character and a lot of balance changes into the game. Then on the heels of that, we get a Rogue Company hotfix. So in this hotfix specifically, Rogue Company has applied a hotfix to address a few outstanding issues players have reported. Fixed an issue that would prevent the round from ending when a player was downed defusing the bomb. Changed the bomb timer from 35 to 50 seconds as intended. Fixed an issue where the round would not end and after running out of time when a player planted the bomb and canceled it. Fixed an issue where teams could receive 2 victory points after halftime side swap and demolition. Fixed an issue
Missed that.
Fixed an issue where secondary and melee weapons would not count towards a maximum upgrade objective. Fixed an issue that prevented an arms dealer event mission from being repeatable, which is still in the game, by the way, because that's what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
So they released this hot fix, and this was on July the 8th. So July the 7th was whenever Kramar posted the update about demolition going down and the blog post. So the next day they introduced a hot fix. They brought ranked back online and they brought demolition back online, which was the first time that.
Back in.
Well, they haven't even done that yet.
Oh,
Yeah. So that was the first time we got to play it. So we didn't even play, or I didn't even play during the whole fuckery that happened whenever the update went live and they were having demolition issues. Because by the time I got on there, the hotfix was already in and demolition was back in the game.
yeah.
After this happens, and this was on July the 9th, the fixer has been temporarily deactivated due to match crashes that occur when someone plays him.
Okay.
So I saw videos like recordings of this that were posted on Twitter where it was a dude in a plane and he's like, I'm fixing to crash the match. Watch this. And they're like, don't do it. Don't do it. And he's like, nah, I got this. So he's in the plane. He buys Fixer's sniper rifle. And as soon as he closes the menu, it crashes the lobby for everybody. If they knew, they addressed that there was issues with Fixer when they released the blog post. Why would they not take Fixer out of the game then?
Speechless.
No, I have no answer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
speechless.
I don't know.
I mean, anybody that's smart enough to run the game and wouldn't want the game to crash for everybody to witness would have already taken him out.
Yeah. Maybe nobody will play Fixer, guys. Don't worry about it.
Maybe
Yeah.
he was so low in the polls of being picked, they're like, probably nobody going to even play him, bro.
And they had to be on console, right?
It was, from what I understand, PS5 people were experiencing it the most. Possibly some PS4 people. I'm not sure about Xbox. It's crazy, and they recently added Fixer back in the game. They had another hot fix. What was it? A couple of days, maybe 2 or 3 days ago, where they reintroduced Fixer back into the game, and they also tried to address some of these bugs and issues that they're having. But when they released the Season 2 update, I believe, they disabled Scorch for how long? Like she wasn't even playable. No, it was the Hot Rogue Summer update, because she had that Captain America skin.
Yeah.
And they disabled her for like 2 or 3 weeks until they figured out what was wrong with her. All I'm going to say is, if you've got an existing character in the game, then it needs to be addressed and tested way ahead of time before the update ever goes live to see what the issue is. You can't tell me, oh wait, never mind, you don't have console in PTS. Never mind.
That's right.
Never mind.
It's still insane that they knew that Fixer was broke and they still just let him make. There's like, fuck it,
Roll
man.
it out.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
roll out.
Well, like
Well-
right now, the game's broke, and it's like, go ahead and roll out that Steam
Yeah,
release.
roll out the update.
Roll it
Well,
out.
Even putting aside that console doesn't have a PTS, they run their PTS for like what, a fucking week?
A day.
No,
The last
they-
time it was a weekend.
they
It was only a
started
day or two.
they started on Saturday morning and ended Sunday afternoon.
It's not enough.
That was the last
time.
one.
That's not enough.
It's just absolutely not enough time. You should run it 2 weeks minimum.
Yeah, I agree. And
It's
and
just enough time for the content creators that hate the game to get on there and make some content.
yeah, to get on there with the developers, by the way, and play with them,
Yeah.
you know?
Just
And
enough
that-
time.
Well, and that's like, there was bugs in Demolition. Well, nobody found Demolition bugs in the PTS. You know why? Because everybody was playing 6v6 King of the Hill.
Yeah.
There's not enough people on PC that download the PTS to actually get, to me, give it a fair shot at running a decently long PTS. So you have to improvise. The majority of the player base is coming from console. We already know that, at least for right now. So, and they need to find a way, like Corey said, I think on one of the earlier episodes of Broguecast, there is a PTS that is always running for PUBG on console. It's always running. When I played it on console, I downloaded it, and you could get on there, and it was new maps and new weapons, and you could get on there and just screw around to your heart's content. You're only going to be, you're only going to be releasing PTS updates to consoles like once every couple of weeks or once every couple of months at that point. So I understand there's a validation process that they have to go through for Xbox or Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. Well, if the game is somewhat unstable on Switch, then no offense to Switch players, but it shouldn't be included into it. But whenever you break it down, PlayStation and Xbox should be a part of it. And then they should have those updates for the PTS verified, and it should go live, and they run the PTS on there, don't update anything, and then take all the feedback in and then make adjustments before it goes live. It's not that hard.
It's really not, man. And we're not professionals in the least bit in the video game industry.
And
We just like to play video games.
Yeah, and I understand, you know, like that whole Borderlands crossplay thing where Sony charges for crossplay, and a PTS, they're not going to net any money off of it, but they would still have to pay for it. But you could still do an update to the live game that has that basically backdoors the PTS into the live game.
Yeah.
And they
Have
could
a
make,
separate mode.
yeah, and it's just called test server. And when you queue in it, it's just a constant rotation of game modes, maps, and everything. That way you can get on there, play a game of Demolition, you re-queue into that same queue, you get a game of 6v6 King of the Hill. You know,
Like
go
a playlist.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, in theory, even if you have to pay Sony to have a fucking separate PTS, wouldn't that save you money in the long run? if you're able to catch bugs early on, don't have to roll out update after update and work on shit that you shouldn't have to work on when you could be working on the next fucking season.
This
Yeah.
constant backtracking.
Yeah.
I mean, it could just get done and then you release it and everyone's like, oh, here's 2 bugs we found. You fix those and then boom, you're working on the next fucking moneymaker you got going.
Yeah. Agreed.
Easy peasy, dude. It's simple business.
Yeah, it is. So off the heels of that, this was tweeted on July the 12th from Scott Gandhi's personal Twitter account, by the way. How are we feeling about the Rogue Company patch? We loving Switchblade and 6v6 King of the Hill. Also, we are actively looking into the following issues: aim assist jitters on console, audio issue on Xbox and PlayStation, miscellaneous bot issues. The reason that I'm bringing this up is normally when an update comes out for Rogue Company and there's not a lot of issues to begin with, usually the day of or the following day, he'll tweet out and ask everybody what they think and how they're feeling about the update.
Mhm.
He waited a week
Oh yeah.
to tweet anything about the game. And I get it. He's hard at work because there's so many bugs in it. But it's just the fact that like he could have released this tweet a week earlier and then people could have actively been reporting bugs at that moment.
Yeah. Directly to him.
Yes. So, and then I'm going to just kind of hit some of these comments real quick. People are talking about the rank mode sucks. Like this one right here from @exiled voices, and it's XILED voices. The ranked mode sucks. There is only an avatar for rogues and not the other ranks. There needs to be a better reward for bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and diamond, and not just a little banner. Give players a rank specific skin, rank specific wrap, gun wrap, etc. And then Gandhi replied and said, do you really think you or anyone else would equip a I'm a ranked bronze avatar? So I see this and I comment on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's look at another high-res game, Paladins. They have ranked rewards as borders for the match loading screen from bronze all the way to Grandmaster. Just because someone can't reach rogue rank doesn't mean they aren't proud of the rank that they did get. It shows progress, I think. It's kind of...
and the creator shouldn't shame his player base.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say. It really shows.
I didn't mean to cut in, but I was like, "Holy shit! I can't believe he said that."
Yeah, it really shows the mindset that this individual is in. Yeah. If I just start the game out, I get up to where I can start playing ranked. Maybe the first season that I play ranked, I only get bronze or silver. But I'm learning the game. I'm picking the cues up. The next season, probably going to get silver or gold. And then it's just going to be an upward climb there. You're not going to have a mass group of people that's going to go into a game fresh and be able to reach a master rank in any game. I mean, it's just not possible. So why shame people and kind of make them shy away from even wanting to compete in the ranked portion of the game when you have the developers saying dog shit like this?
Yeah, should have made it 75.
Yeah, I know, right?
What's his rank?
I'm sure that whenever each season resets for ranked, it's automatically rogue.
Oh.
It's probably just dropped right into his account,
Yeah.
And then a lot of people are talking about the 20 damage tick from Switchblade's napalm is a little too much. Maybe consider lowering it down. Issues with Trench's barbed wire that cause it to immediately break. We've seen those issues. Yes. Yeah.
Did you throw it down?
Yeah.
Dude. God. So many times.
It's a lot of that. People basically talking about rogue ranked and bugs that are in the game. People that are the trench stuff that's happening, invisible fire, some people, whenever they play team deathmatch, are dying and they're not able to respawn. They're just stuck in spectating mode for the rest of the game. It's all a mishmash that, like, to me, whenever I read through here, I see a lot of the same bugs, but it seems like every other comment talking about bugs, it's a different issue that someone's having with it. If there's that many bugs in the game, then the update shouldn't have went live.
Dude, they got the Steam thing coming out in a few days.
Yeah, speaking of that, that's the next topic I wanted to hit on. So this was from the actual @Rogue Company Twitter page. Mark your calendars and prep for download. Rogue Company is coming to Steam. We're happy to announce that we'll be joining the Steam store next Tuesday, July the 20th. And it's got a link to the wish list for Steam itself. This is a bad move. I mean, what do y'all think about it?
Yeah,
I
dude.
can't wait to read the reviews.
I don't think
Steam
they're thinking
reviews
about that.
are
Like-
brutal.
Because on Epic, there's no review area, right?
Not that I'm
Yeah,
aware
They
of.
just don't have that. Like they don't have the but Steam, they have it and motherfuckers use it. Dude, they'll write an essay.
Dude, some of the best literature I've read's been in those reviews. Motherfuckers got English degrees writing reviews and that shit.
They're about to get roasted.
I'm telling you.
And that score is gonna go down so low it's gonna be hard to get it back up.
Yeah. It's going to be rough, man, because you know when it gets released, it's going to be featured on that front page. And
Oh yeah.
And it's free.
And
Yeah.
free game. Oh, free game.
There's
And I get the battle pass. Shit.
yeah, and the battle pass is releasing to everybody for free for season 2 with the Steam release. So people are going to log on there, see this clusterfuck of a game, and they're just going to turn around and uninstall it. And
They're
that's
not even gonna realize like they're just gonna be like, this game just runs like shit.
yeah.
Wait. So fuck us for paying for it, huh?
Yeah, and all right, so this is what I said in my video that I released, but this is something that they should have done. They should have postponed the release of the
Till next
Steam.
season.
Yes, and they
At
should have
least.
yeah, and they should have and I would have been okay with this, but they should have postponed it, squash all the bugs, postpone the season 3 release, the battle pass and everything, the full update until all the bugs were addressed or at least acknowledged and has some of them squashed. Then release it on Steam, release the season 3 update, everything at one time, and then have a small window, maybe like a week, like 5 to 7 days, where if you download it on Steam, you get the battle pass for free.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's going to draw people in. But who in their right mind is going to download this game? They're going to get the battle pass for free, and they're just like, oh, there's 20 days left to complete this battle pass?
I'm gonna have to play every day.
Like, I'm going to have to quit my job. That's just not good. That's just not good marketing. That's not thinking anything through whatsoever.
Yeah, I think also for the inconvenience, they should just go ahead and give us what's in the arms dealer event. Since
I
it's not
agree.
working, just give it to us.
Yeah.
I mean, we're dealing with your shit. We're still on here playing.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and hand it over.
Yeah. It's a rough state for the game right now, guys. But on the brighter side of things, they released the PlayStation free-to-play downloads for PS4 and PS5. So rank 1 through 10 here in the US and Canada. Where do you think Rogue Company falls at on that list of downloads?
I already know where it's at, so I'm not going to answer. 1 through 10. And this was the month of June, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'd say what, 10?
This update
Yes.
has been the most disappointing.
So where do you think it's at, Justin?
I don't like where it is, man. I don't. I can't.
Yeah, but
even
these are
go
people
into it.
downloading the game that
Yeah.
don't know about
Look,
the
okay,
updates
so
until they get on there.
my experience, because like
1 to 10.
sometimes, hang on, look, sometimes you're
1 to
not here.
10.
So, oh my god, 10.
So for the June free to play downloads on PlayStation 4 and 5 for US and Canada, it's at number 9.
It's free to play?
Yes.
Okay.
And on this list, number 1, you've got Fortnite. 2, you've got Warzone. 3, you've got Rocket League. 5, you have Apex. 8, you have Destiny 2. 10, you have DC Universe Online. So
What?
yeah, that's the top
The
10
game's
for
from
June.
12 years ago.
Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy.
I played it on PlayStation 3.
Yeah. And in Europe, the ranking here for the top downloads is number 8. So there's actually more people in Europe, which there's less people in Europe. But anyway, that's a whole different geography discussion.
I
But
hear more people with British accents playing with us.
Well, it's all region locked. I mean, I could change the region when we play to Europe.
I'm
Will our
good.
ping be better?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
If we had a way to monitor the ping, then maybe. But
Yeah,
But so
that'd just be something for other people to bitch about.
yeah, right. Exactly.
That's why there's no ping in there. Like,
Yeah, I know.
what are they complaining about? The matchmaking, the player levels? Well, take it out.
Yeah, right. So if you look at everything, like the trajectory that they planned on going for the Switch update onward was a very good trajectory, and they were hitting some decent goals here. You have it coming to Steam. You have the free to play June downloads is numbered 8 and numbered 9 for Europe and US/Canada. Like, it's got a good trajectory here, but it feels like they did everything in their power to just completely fuck it up.
Well, whenever they roll out, so there's been 2 patches, one each week,
yeah.
right?
Well, there was 2 the first week. There was one.
And then the one a few days ago.
Yeah, and then there's one Monday.
Okay. Why don't they tell us what they've patched? So if it's still broken, we can still report it.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I've heard you almost every night this week we played. We would get off the game and you would go to that patch report thing and report every patch from that bug from that night. Like,
Yeah.
but it'd be just nice to know it's like we patched some things. And I was like, I saw the 25 megabyte update.
Yeah.
Every game
But
I've
what
played
was
that
it?
releases a patch notes with it, every one of them, every patch.
What did you patch?
Yeah.
Because shit's still broke.
Even if it was just like fixed an issue with one skin, that most games would release a patch note being like, "Here's the issue."
Yeah.
And we fixed it. If you still encounter the issue, let us know.
Right. Yeah. So all in all, like, I mean, I think that the Switchblade update, like, in theory and in patch note form, it looks good. It sounds good. In execution, it was one of the worst updates. And whenever I released that video, the worst Rogue Company update video, they had this same issue when Fixer came out. There was a whole heap of bugs. Fixer was, that was a whole deal. Well, they should have learned from their mistakes at that point, but they didn't. So this is the worst update. And if the next update, if the season 3 update comes the same way, it's going to be the worst update because they're not learning anything. I hope that they get enough stuff patched because the Steam release is on the 20th, which is next Tuesday. The hotfix update is going live on the 19th. I hope that they fix enough bugs in that update to keep Steam users around and give it at least a mediocre score.
If I worked there and I was in charge, I'd be like, all right, motherfuckers, we're pulling a long weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody getting off.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to come in.
No family time, no time for your baby shower. We're working,
We'll build the cribs later.
Yes, exactly. Paint the room on a fucking off day.
Hire somebody to do it. Shit.
Yeah, right. I'll
I
come do
understand
it.
they're not a AAA title, but that's where they should be superior in this.
They've got more to prove.
Exactly. I mean, I'd try to be if I was
As
in
an
that
underdog.
situation. I want to be better than Call of Duty. I want to pull in people and keep a player base, not just pull in, but keep it.
Yeah.
And people love the game.
Yeah.
See the comments all the time, man.
Especially if you got a crew to run with, man. Awesome game.
All right, so let's go ahead and transition over into our community side of the Broguecast here. And we did get a couple of submissions this week. So, guys, we're going to hit these submissions first. Then we're going to go into stuff that we actually found. But if you want to contribute, follow us on Twitter at Broguecast. Send us an email, broguecast@gmail.com. Join the Discord. There's a whole Discord room dedicated specifically for Broguecast contributions. And this first Broguecast contribution that we got was from Angelus, right? Angelus. His name on Reddit is Whedonite 888. I wonder if he's a fan of Whedon. I don't know.
Yeah.
So the headline is, I want to riff about Extraction for a second. I want to start off by saying I know not everyone likes Extraction, and some of what I'm going to suggest may make the game mode more enjoyable for some people. Extraction is my favorite mode personally, and I'm salty that it's being replaced by 6v6 King of the Hill when I feel like it could have easily just stayed a core mode and we could have 4 core modes instead of 3. That being said, here's my ideas about how to make extraction better and more appealing to some of the people who don't like it currently. Change the name to attack/defend. The name is never fit to me because neither team is extracting anything when it boils down to it. I also think a good idea for a new game mode, which could be called Extraction, would be something akin to Hostage from Counter-Strike Go, but that's another topic entirely. Number 2, remove the neutral bomb sites and make the game mode work the way it does on High Castle, where each team has a chance to defend a point some rounds and assault the point other rounds. I also think instead of randomizing the point, it should go back and forth with one team defending, then the next round the other team gets to defend, and so on. But with the randomization coming in the form of having 2 points on each side of the map. Number 3, a lot of the maps currently have terrible bomb sites, the worst of which is definitely Glacier and the middle point of Skyfell. I can't share my bomb site ideas very effectively here because I don't have visual representation, but for most maps, you can just kind of mirror the bomb sites that are already closer to one side or the other. Lastly, the thing I hear complaints about with this mode the most is that there is no incentive to plant the bomb. This can be easily fixed in several ways. One way could be that the bomb is planted automatically by the defending team once they all land. Another way could be that the defending team could be given 20 or 30 seconds to plant the bomb or else lose the round. Both of these solutions would probably come with a longer bomb timer to keep the round time consistent with what it currently is. I feel like the timer could be 3 minutes or maybe 3.5 minutes, which would give the attackers enough time to play it slowly and carefully since it's a 1 life mode. Anyway, those are my 2 cents on Extraction and how to make it better, both for those of us who already love it and for those who don't play it at all. Also, just to clarify, I've been playing Rogue since open beta, pretty shortly after Dahlia came out, and I'd say a good 90% of my hours have been spent in Extraction, with most of the rest being in Demolition. So, he wants to riff about Extraction here, and I think that he makes some pretty decent points here.
Yeah.
You know, having an attack/defend game, specifically attack/defend game mode, would be something that would be really interesting, akin to like Assault. So Assault is a respawn attack/defend mode to where one team is defending against the other team that's attacking, and you do have respawns. You have to plant the bomb and all this kind of stuff. It would be similar. It would basically be Assault without the respawn mechanism, right?
Yeah.
And I think that would add more to it because I've always looked at Extraction as practice mode for pushing a site, right? Pushing
warm up.
Yeah, pushing an objective. You know, even though the bomb sites are not where any of the traditional bomb sites for Demolition are, it gives you good practice and good ways to think outside the box when it comes to rotating into an enemy team. I will agree that a lot of the maps currently have terrible bomb sites for Extraction. I agree with that 100%. There are some that are better than others, but some of them just feel completely terrible.
I really love his idea of Extraction being a hostage type.
Yeah, right.
I think that'd be a really cool mode to introduce to this.
That makes sense for, Extraction.
Yeah.
Defend the hostage, extract the hostage.
Yeah.
Get them out of there.
That would be intense, right? Like if it was 4v4, but one person was in a cage.
Yep.
You had to free them.
And you could it would also, what would be really fun with like if it was like a hostage type mode, is make it to where both teams could friendly fire kill the hostage if they're not careful.
Oh yeah, that would be insane, right?
If the defenders killed them, they lose, and if the attackers killed them, they lose. That's how it is on Rainbow Six.
Right.
And like whenever you're doing a hostage mode, you have to be real careful about what
operative you use.
Operators you use, because you could use one that shoots grenades through walls and just hit the hostage and it's over.
All right, so our second contribution comes from Zerger. It's ZIRJR. I asked him how he pronounces his name. He said we can pronounce it however the fuck we want to. So, let's go ahead and decide right now how are we going to address this guy?
Zer Jr.?
That's what I thought it was. I asked him, I said, is it Zer Jr., like Zer JR? And he's like, it don't matter. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
He said
I'm
it's
just gonna call him Junior.
well, he said it's pronounced the way it's spelled. And I'm like,
Zerger?
Zerger. I think that's what it is. I don't know.
Zerger?
Sounds good.
I like
I
it
think,
though.
yeah.
So he sent us 3 clips of, all right. So a lot of the weapons got a fire rate increase in the Switchblade update, right? So he has videos here, and I'll go ahead and pull up the very first one here. That is a Dahlia video. It is going to be a little bit blurry, but he's showing a before, how fast you can fire the weapon, and then after. And you can see a noticeable difference between
Oh yeah.
how quickly this individual can fire the weapon versus how quickly they can fire it. So the way that it appears to me is that whenever they released the fire increase for the MXR, it like did the opposite on console, because he's playing specifically on console here. On the next video, this is the same issue with pistols. It's showing before the hot fix, him shooting the executioner. After it, it is firing a little bit slower. And he even slows it down here to show the fire rate of it. And whenever he slows it down, you can really tell that the inconsistencies with it. And I know that they didn't change the fire rate for the executioner specifically, but it's interesting how like this hot fix caused something like this to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the last one that we have here is the new shoulder switch bug mid reload after Switchblade update. Something small, but causes less awareness and crucial in some situations. So I haven't even watched this. So let's pull this up. So they added a way to auto shoulder swap as you approach cover for people that didn't like swapping shoulders, or that wasn't used to playing in a game to where you could actually swap what side of your body you actually fire from. So I'm going to play this and see how it looks.
It's not swapping on the second one.
Yeah.
Or it's like delayed.
Yeah.
I don't know if he swapped it himself after the second, but it just
Yeah. So to me, what it looks like is that whenever he's behind cover, he's reloading and he approaches that same cover.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's because he's reloading.
Yeah.
As soon as he stops, then it swaps.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an issue.
And that sucks for people that have that on. Now, I don't play with the shoulder swap activated at all, but I could see where this would be a huge issue. I mean, if you're in a demolition situation and you know someone's approaching you from your right hand side and you're mid reload, so you pull off cover and go to that right side, you're still going to be aiming over that left hand side. You're going to be exposed and they're going to be able to shoot you. That's massive, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
and you can't see around the corner. Like,
yeah, that's a huge no-go, man. Does anybody play with the shoulder swap activated?
No.
Not the automatic. I don't.
No, I just swap manually. It makes more sense to me.
Right. Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I got used to where I placed it and everything, and I just kind of rolled with it. But that sucks, man. I hope that they can. Zerger, he's the same guy that's always posting about the health bars possibly being the contributing factor to why the aim assist is broken.
oh.
And he's been posting about this a lot. And here's my 2 cents on it. And I told him this whenever we were messaging back and forth, I believe. I'm like, if there's even a slight possibility that the changing the color of the health bars is interfering with the aim assist whatsoever, they need to go back in and they need to revert that color change like immediately.
Yeah.
And then
fix it.
Yeah. And once they get it fixed and discovered what the actual problem is, then they can go forward from that point and change the color, or hell, even give us the option to change the colors that we want it to be in game. So, but thank you, Zerger and Angelus, for your contributions to Broguecast. Like I said, anybody else that want to contribute, check the description down below. There's links to every way that you can contribute to it. So next up, we have a tweet from Denton True Young. Anybody else notice they're slowly implementing the TTK changes? Every update since the TTK revert has buffed multiple guns and nerfed nothing except Riptide range. Anybody else notice this? They're trying to big brain us. So, what do you guys make?
Well, now
of
they're
that?
trying to do it through the
Well,
guns.
I know that you've brought it up in like one of your past videos about how they're slowly like adding certain guns, but it's supposed to like what a lot of people saying is like what for the armor or whatever to accommodate for the armor.
Yeah, a lot of people's comments on it were like, well, they said in their live stream that they were making these changes specifically for the armor. Well, yeah, on some of the weapons, they did say that they were changing it specifically for the armor. But the weapons that they increased the fire rate of, but they didn't change the damage to the weapon, didn't have any link to armor whatsoever.
Right. They just made the gun faster.
Yeah,
But even if you're trying to do it for the armor, why? Because isn't the point of having armor to have a tactical advantage?
exactly. And I agree
While you're
with you.
spending what 12,000 to
Yeah,
get
I
it
mean,
now?
Well, they're pointing
Was
at
it
Mac.
pointless to buy it?
No, they're pointing at Mac as being the reason because Mac starts out with that armor every time.
That's his passive.
That's
Oh.
yeah.
That's
well,
their
that,
own fault.
everyone
just
has an
because-
ability. That's his
Yeah.
ability.
That's his ability.
I mean-
like if
So everybody's got to suffer just because of him?
Account for it.
Yeah, I mean, they've already gave him one of the most inconsistent light machine guns in the game. Like whenever you first start firing it, you don't get a good spread, and then it tightens up as you fire it. So that's supposed to be
They're
the
pretty
counter.
dog shit.
Yeah. And that's supposed to be the counter to him actually having the armor itself. My thing is if they're increasing weapon damage specifically for armor, then maybe they should go back and reevaluate him having armor as his passive ability. It's just my
See, now
thoughts.
they're
Or-
changing
they're
the
just-
TTK
yeah.
through the weapons.
Yeah, they're
Remember before they just changed it, and everybody's
Mhm.
like, "Oh, we don't like this." And they're like, "Okay, well, they found a way to just sneak it in.
yeah,
At the
exactly.
very
Oh, we'll
least,
just buff all the guns."
and they're just using a character and they're just
But they're still
blaming him
doing it.
for it. Yeah.
at the very least, if you're gonna
So what?
do something with his armor, just make it to where he can't get it back when he downs someone.
Yeah.
Nobody's picking Mac every go anyway.
Yeah.
So like, why is it a big deal if Mac it like it's just again it sounds like just an excuse so they can just buff guns.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, you're
and-
getting the TTK whether you like it or not.
Mac is not getting is used as much as Lancer or getting used as much as I don't know. I've seen Kestrel a lot. Like there's
Nobody gets used as much as Lancer, bro.
there's just more characters that get used, and they're just pinpointing it on him because he walks around with armor.
I've never seen him having armor as an issue.
I haven't either.
Oh man,
well,
I just gotta
Just
shoot him
one
a few more
character.
times.
yeah. I mean,
And he downed me, and he got 25 more health.
Yeah.
Cool.
it forces you to like learn how to play around someone like that, which we were already doing for characters that actually had the ability to purchase armor.
Right.
Well, this is the point of the game: is as they're adding more abilities and passive abilities, you've got to learn how to play around a lot of characters now.
Exactly.
Everyone has an ability, and there are ways to counter every one of them. You just got to figure that shit out. Except for fucking Lancer, because there's no one who can just set up something that can hear that bitch when she's quiet.
Not yet. Hopefully in the future, though.
Well,
Well, it-
Black.
Dude,
That would be cool. That someone could activate it, and they get like boosted footsteps, and it cancels out her ability.
Got like
Or,
super
like,
hearing.
Have a I was about to say have a character that can hear all silent steps.
Being able to hear people move around is a huge part of this game, especially in modes that you don't respawn.
Big
You
time.
need to know where they're at. You can't make a push full hardly.
Yes, I agree 100% on that. And like, well, Adam said field mic, and this sparks something in my brain, right?
Mhm.
So if you had a character that their ability was a deployable field mic, or even if it was a piece of equipment to where you throw it down on the map, it doesn't show you a red dot like Talon's dart does, but it shows on the mini map or even just through walls, like you see circles coming off of something. So, for example, someone throws a grenade and it bounces close, you see the circles come off of it. Someone walks within that.
Little sonar, little.
Yeah.
Like sound,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like sonar. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that'd be really cool.
location.
I mean, why not?
That
Just
would
in
be-
the area, that way when you like plant and you're defending or whatever, you can hear that bitch running up behind you, or anyone running up behind you for that matter.
yeah, because there's a lot of characters that have padded steps now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and if I pick anyone with padded steps, that's my first purchase.
Oh yeah, for
Love
sure.
Same.
Yeah.
Even with the extra $1,000, man, if that character has it, I'm almost guaranteed to buy
Oh.
it first go.
If that's going to be a perk in the game, then there needs to be something you can use against that.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
at least one character needs to have something.
I like that idea. I like the idea of having a character that has a passive to be able to hear everything, or a piece of equipment that does it. Either way, it's going to
Right.
consume a slot.
That would be a good idea for a character. It's weird they haven't already thought of that, being how Lesser is already like out of hand anyway.
She's been a main character since the beginning.
And yeah, and they still haven't made a character to counter her.
Oh, they just buffed her.
Yeah,
But she
right.
needed a buff. Yeah, man, she needed a buff.
So next up, we have a post here from Ordinary Mind 89. Can we please be allowed to take control of the bots if a player leaves? CSGO does it. First person on a team to die is able to take over a bot. I'm tired of watching them run around and stare at the sky for 2 minutes at the end of losing rounds. Edit. I'm talking about demolition here. I agree with everyone who is saying that bots and respawn modes are useless. Winning a 3v4 strikeout match is not impossible by any means.
No.
So
Yeah, that sounds alright. I
this.
mean,
Yeah, I like this.
Yeah, I like that idea.
if they're just
Their
running around
bots
or they're
still
standing
alive.
there, like,
yeah.
why not let somebody take it over? The first person that dies,
Yeah,
it
or
just puts them in their body, or
at the very least, when you die, you're spectating people like in demolition. If you spectate that person, it should have a Q or something at the bottom that's like take
join
control.
or- yeah.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget though, it's not even going to be an issue soon because we're going to get backfill.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Backfill is
too.
going to be coming in the next update.
Yeah, probably the season 3 update. Yeah.
So then we're just going to be joining and losing matches.
Maybe not, since we queue a lot with 3 or 4.
Yeah. So
But if you're queuing alone,
yeah,
I'm
you're
sorry.
screwed, bro.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Sorry, Steam
Well,
users.
friends.
Well, how's that going to feel about new players, man?
it's not going to go over well.
No.
Yeah, man.
Like a
They're
big
going to
house
come
on
in
fire.
and they're going to get into a backfield. They're going to get into a game that they're already
Yeah.
losing because people are leaving, and they're going to get slapped.
Well, I just gotta say, if you don't have friends, like just hit up the rogue community. I'm sure someone will play with you.
Yeah.
Okay, I was about to say. So
I
what
mean-
if friends don't play Rogue Company, but
Well, I mean, every Discord server, whether it be the Rogue Company official Discord server, specific content creators, streamers, anybody like that, they almost always have a find a player section in their Discord channel. People are constantly posting stuff on Reddit and Twitter about, hey, does anybody want to play Rogue Company? If you don't have a group to play with, you can certainly find a group to play with. It's not that difficult.
And if you can't find a group to play with, then maybe you're just an asshole. Nobody wants to play with you.
Yeah. Maybe you drank 14 beers and you call us.
We run into those people sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Teach them a little life lesson.
Yeah, right. See a 4-piece. Next up, we have a post from Lol Demorty. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Idea for a new permanent game mode. Extraction, but with the dodgeball mechanic. What do you guys think? I kind of get why Hi-Rez removed extraction. Apparently it wasn't a popular game mode, and at least to me personally, it always felt a little like a watered down version of Demolition rather than a fully unique mode. That being said, I'm not happy with 6v6 King of the Hill being the replacement. I already had my problems with it when it was a limited time mode, and what's even worse is that it's not even available on Nintendo Switch. So a part of the player base is stuck with just 2 modes right now. So my suggestion would be to remove 6v6 King of the Hill and make it only a limited time mode. Bring back Extraction but with a twist, the Dodgeball mechanic. I love Dodgeball as a LTM because it brings an entirely new tactical element to the game. Quick reminder, in Dodgeball, eliminating an enemy player will allow one of your own teammates to respawn. This would completely change the dynamic of Extraction and set it apart from Demolition by having an interesting respawn mechanic that rewards skillful play.
That's just like playing dodgeball
Well, it would be
Yeah,
Dodgeball
with
with
a
an
playing
objective.
with the
mechanic.
bomb.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not against
It would make it a little more
it.
interesting because, I mean, it's not technically a respawn mode because you have to do something to initiate the respawn.
Yeah.
And that just, I mean, you do have to play more skillfully that way.
I mean, if it'll get them to bring Extraction back, then yeah.
It's more high
Do
stakes
it.
too because you know that if you die, they're getting a dude back.
Yeah.
Hear me out here real quick. Dodgeball would have almost been the perfect game mode to test a 6v6 playstyle.
Yeah.
On the bigger maps.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course, yeah.
Yeah.
And not those tiny maps that they're already on.
Fuck that, yeah. But having the ability to bring people back by downing people, like that would be so huge. All right, this is the last one, and I didn't post a screenshot of this in the thing because it is very long, but we're going to run through it a little bit here. So the headline here is, so this is a tactical shooter still, or are we moving toward Call of Duty territory? I've been playing since about October 2020. I was curious about the game when it was in its early stages, and of course I saw it through streamers such as Courage and Dr. Disrespect. So when it finally launched as free to play on console, I was psyched to play. I've long desired a fresh third-person tactical shooter. The last game that fit this model for me was SOCOM, and honestly nothing has come close to what SOCOM was since that franchise came to an unfortunate end. Rogue Company, despite the hero shooter elements, provided that feel for me, and immediately I was drawn to Extraction. I do appreciate Demolition, but Demolition's length of games and high competitiveness has been kind of a turnoff for my friend group. Extraction games are quick, simple, yet coordination, teamwork could be a big part of your success in the mode. But as the months have gone on, Rogue Company content creators and influencers such as Radthar, Diehard GG, Octane, etc. have constantly bashed the mode, and I never understood why, and I worry that their influence is part of the reason why Extraction was removed. People constantly say the numbers of Extraction were low. I've seen it for myself from time to time, playing the same few teams multiple times in the same day/night, and I'm sure Hi-Rez has the numbers to maybe prove that. But to remove that mode from the core game modes just seems unreasonable for a game that dubs itself as a tactical shooter. This tactical shooter now fields 2 respawn modes as its primary modes. One of those, for some reason, they chose to up the player count, adding an additional 4 players to the maps that do not seem designed to hold a count of 12 total players. And tactics have gone completely out the window at this point. 6v6 King of the Hill is just constant chaos, throwing of grenades and other explosives and utility, and racing to rack up kills as opposed to actually playing the objective. And that's because there is no incentive to play the objective aside from winning the match. Because the only way to get money for upgrades is by getting downs or eliminations. On top of these 2 primary respawn modes, they constantly have respawn modes as limited time modes every week. So essentially, there's now 3 respawn modes and then Demolition, which has not been adjusted for casual play in any way. Did people really clamor to increase the player count of King of the Hill from 4v4 to 6v6? I actually did enjoy 4v4 King of the Hill, but 6v6 just seems to me like it was completely unnecessary and not very well thought out. I also don't understand why Strikeout couldn't have been replaced over Extraction. King of the Hill is what Strikeout should be. There's honestly no point in Strikeout at all anymore. If I were to lay out a few suggestions, they would be as follows. So we'll run through this dude's suggestions and we'll kind of hit some notes as we go along, since it's a little bit longer. Revamp Extraction. If there was anything that I could point out about Extraction that may have been its biggest flaw, it's that Extraction was not consistent across each map. For example, on High Castle, there are 4 total plant points. 2 of them are in disadvantageous locations. There are no neutral points on this map, and the plant point rotations often won't rotate properly. Meanwhile, on a map like Breach, there was 3 neutral points where it's a race to get to the point first. Again, a flaw in this was that sometimes the point location wouldn't rotate each round, leaving you to play the same location up to a few times in a row. Other maps like Factory or Favelas would have what I think works best for the mode, which is having a neutral plant site to start and then alternating between offensive plant site, neutral plant site, and defensive plant site through the remainder of the game, ending with a neutral plant site in a tie-breaking scenario. If there was consistency across all maps, I think that would be a big step forward to making this mode more appealing. Whichever way they choose is fine, but it shouldn't be different for each map. It should be one universally played way, no matter the map. If that means all neutral sites, fine. If it's alternating from neutral to offensive to neutral to defense, even better. We've seen this topic come up several times here, going through some of these extraction posts about how the biggest offender to the game mode seems to be universally the planning locations.
Yeah, it really is.
Mhm.
A lot of situations they would give advantage to the other team when you're down. You're down 3-0, and they'd get advantage on a bomb site 2 times in a row.
Yeah, you're just like, what?
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, why would the team that's losing not get the advantage?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, where's the comeback mechanic at?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
real. And I think that like his idea of starting and ending with a neutral site and then doing a defense versus attack approach to the bomb site makes a little bit more sense. And I thought that that's how it was originally going to be programmed.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
we know it's a known rotation between those 3 things, if we know it's going to be neutral, attack, defense, neutral, attack, defense, and on neutral, then that's going to make it easier on both sides for the defending team as well to be able to play those rounds.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Like, well, we'll have to give the next one to them because we won't be able to go there quick enough. But the next one we can just charge, and you could just plan that shit out.
Yeah. So the next point here is rotate LTMs more often. He said, look, I know realistically that respawn modes aren't going away, and that's fine. I have no issue with the existence of respawn modes. While I don't play them primarily, I definitely don't mind hopping in one every now and then. But high res, you have a plethora of limited time modes. And in recent weeks, you've only given us Team Deathmatch and King of the Hill. I'll agree with that because look at this last, limited time mode rotation that happened this week. We got Dodgeball for one day, and then they subbed Dodgeball out and they put 6v6 Team Deathmatch back into the game. We have a total of like 18 limited time modes, and some of them have only shown up once or twice. So how often, realistically, is Extraction going to show up in rotation?
Yeah.
Probably never.
Rarely. That's going to be a big problem.
Yeah. And I would go one step further here, no consideration. I would just have limited time modes be its own queue and let it be every limited time mode.
Yeah, just rotate them out.
Yeah. Or at least put like
random.
At least put the top 3 or the top 5 in there at the most. And that way that you have multiple limited time modes that are going to constantly be going and changed out from time to time. That way that you don't get stale. Like Dodgeball, when it's up, let's play some Dodgeball to get warmed up over King of the Hill or Strikeout. But when something else up, like 6v6 Team Deathmatch, pass.
Yeah, we might play one of those.
Yeah, hard pass, man.
Yeah.
I like this one right here. Lower the round count in unranked demolition. So this would be like casual demolition, regular queue. If Extraction isn't going to make a return into the core game modes, Hi-Rez should highly consider lowering the round count in Demolition. I'd imagine those who loved Extraction mainly avoided Demolition because of its lengthy match times. Best of 15 totally makes sense for ranked and for competitive play, but in casual unranked gameplay, players don't want to spend that much time in game. I think a best of 9 or maybe a best of 11 would be a big help to maybe wean former Extraction players into playing unranked Demolition.
I like that.
Yeah. this goes back to why did they up the round count to begin with?
What was it,
Yeah.
9? And then they went back to 8.
It was 13, right?
Well, you had to win that many rounds. Like,
yeah, which is crazy. We started out with 7. You had to win the best, the best of 7.
yeah.
You should win a 13 rounder if you went all the way through.
Yeah.
Which was lengthy then.
Yes.
Yeah, it was already enough.
Yeah. But like changing the length of the games did nothing but extend the length of the games.
Made it
That's
longer.
really all it did.
And it all right, so I will say this. I will go out on a limb here and say at halftime, if you're 4-3, it's usually a lot better because you have an extra round in that first half. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So going out 4-3 as opposed to going out like 1-3 or 1-4, whatever it was the other way. No, it went all the way up to like 8. No, it went all the way up to 6 and then it swapped.
6-0. Yeah.
Yeah. And that felt like there was no way of coming back from that.
Almost no way.
Yeah. So with them changing it up, it kind of made it feel a little bit better. Even if you got 1 or 2 points, they still had to do much more. But they could have fixed that issue by having the halftime happen sooner.
Yeah. When it's really halftime.
It's worse now because it's you can go 7-0.
Yeah.
And it's like halftime. Enjoy that last round with pistols.
Yeah.
Halftime, my asshole.
Yeah. We're going to take all your perks, and here's a pistol.
Yeah.
Start over.
Hope you win.
Have fun. Yeah, right. And I don't think that that's too much to ask because, I mean, if you're going to go into ranked and it's going to be, they could up it in ranked to 9 if they wanted to, 8 or 9. That makes sense. Whenever
I get having more ranked.
Yeah. But in just straight casual, I'm just like, dude, if I come home from work, I may have time to play 2 demolition matches before it's like, well, I got to go to bed because I just spent 35 fucking minutes in 1 round.
It's not about the experience. I was like, you don't really even get enough experience for all that length time either. Like, you just have to be god badass.
It's almost like they reward the other game modes with that.
Yeah, right.
Because I've noticed when you play like Strikeout or King, you get more.
Yeah,
a lot from King of the Hill.
Well, it's all factored into how many downs and eliminations that you get. So if you go into King of the Hill and you get, 68 downs and 112 eliminations, then you're going to get a shit ton of experience.
Yeah.
No, if you get 68 downs, 112 eliminations.
But you know what I mean, though? Like if they went in and actually adjusted for winning, like they give you a bonus each round that you win in demolition, then that would make it feel better.
You should get something because you don't get to respawn.
Yeah.
You got 1 life to make this work. Like
you got to show off your skills in 1 life.
Should get something.
So King of the Hill versus Strikeout. I really don't see the point of both of these modes being core modes. Personally, I've never really cared for Strikeout. Preach. As spawn camping was always pretty infuriating to me. Respawn time seemed too quick. The excessive spamming of utility after each spawn. Why can't utility be on a cooldown timer like abilities are? And the mode itself gets overly sweaty once guys who reach rogue rank and ranked mode get bored and want to come frag out and strike out. To me, King of the Hill is exactly what Strikeout should be, and I don't see why we can't consider replacing Strikeout with King of the Hill. The one flaw that King of the Hill has is that there is no reward for your time spent on the point, aside from helping toward team victory. They should award you with cash while you are on the point. That way, if you aren't a primary fragger for your team, you can still earn cash to get upgrades as you die and respawn.
Yeah.
That's fucking genius. Yeah.
That makes a ton of fucking sense.
Yeah. And they all right, so you get a tick every second, right? Whenever you're controlling the hill or whenever you're on the hill. So they should do a tick of like $50 or $20, something like that. Like they'd have to go in and like do some quick math on it. Like how long is the point here? When does it rotate? Realistically, how much cash could one person earn over the course of being on that point? It should equal up to like maybe 3 downs, something like that, But
well, a lot of times when you play that game mode, there won't even be like people won't even get on the point really.
Yeah,
because they're trying to get money
yeah,
to buy shit.
exactly. Exactly. Well, and this is the thing too, man. Like, if you're going to have a respawn game mode like that, then having the ability to purchase, like, you should go into the game mode with your primary weapon. You should go into the game mode with both of your gadgets, like your lethal and your passive, or tactical gadget, whatever you want to call it. Put them on a cooldown timer. That's default. All the money that you earn in the match should be specifically for perks alone.
Yeah.
And they should just give you the fully upgraded gun out of the gate, whichever one you pick, and that way you don't have to farm for kills in order to upgrade your weapons and to upgrade your equipment. They should give everything to you right out of the gate and then let you go with it.
Yeah, because I think you start with like 11K.
Yeah. So you have enough money to buy a weapon and a gadget,
Yeah,
or a weapon and a perk.
that's right.
So, a wingman variant should always be active. Wingman is such a great mode, offering you and just one friend to play without having to worry about playing with randoms on your team. And Wingman features 3 really cool maps that are underutilized. There should always be a Wingman variant active so that these maps can always be used. Preferably for me, I like the standard Wingman mode the most over Wingman Strikeout or Demolition, but I wouldn't be against there being a constant rotation of Wingman variants if that's high-res best option to keep Wingman permanent. So, they did a 3v3 Wingman at some point.
Yeah.
We never saw it.
Never saw it, dude.
Like, was it invisible?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
Or how long was it there? I mean,
Like a day and
was it a day? Yeah, I mean,
it
what
lasted,
happened?
It lasted as long as our PTS cycle.
Because I remember all that hype. People like, Wingman's coming. Wingman. Like, we're going to try that Wingman out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I
it's like,
remember that.
I don't understand why they can't. I mean, I agree with this dude. It should always be active because, I mean, if you get 2 people and you don't want to deal with randos, then there should be a game mode specifically for you.
Yeah.
Whether it be 2v2, 3v3, or 4v4, you should always have an option to where if you don't want to play with anybody, you don't have to. So in summary here, he says, I love this game because as a third-person tactical hero shooter, it was different from the AAA titles that dominate the shooting game market. But the favoritism that is being shown to respawn modes and the increase to 6v6 in King of the Hill and Team Deathmatch is a very worrisome direction to me. A direction that feels like this game is becoming Rogue of Duty rather than Rogue Company. If turning this game into Rogue of Duty is what they feel is going to bring more attention to the game, then shame on me. Then shame on me then for being in the minority group of preferring one life modes over respawn modes. But I think this latest update puts us at a crossroad where some transparency from high res on the direction they want to take the game is very much needed. This dude,
we've been saying that for a minute now.
Yeah,
I agree with this guy. Give him a job.
They need to commit to a direction.
Well, I was even looking at some of the comments down here, and people are like agreeing with him. They're writing essays, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But the one guy where he says we're moving away from a tactical shooter. They only have one, tactical shooter mode in the game right now.
Yeah,
and it's a tactical shooter game. We got 17 limited time modes.
Yeah,
one life respawn, no respawn mode in the game. It does seem like it's moving away from that.
Yeah, to me it does too.
I mean, I feel like it already has.
I don't think he's in the minority either, because we've seen plenty of people bitching about this, and I just think what it is the developers are listening to certain people that love Strikeout and those shitty game modes, and those people just don't understand that's not what this game was originally intended to be, and what most people love it for.
Yeah. No, I agree 100% with that, man.
If I want to fucking respawn kill race, I'll load up Black Ops and I'll go play Team Deathmatch, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More than happy to do that. a plethora of games where that's what that is.
Yeah. And it feels to me like he said in his statement that the developers that play with some of the more I don't know, renowned content creators, I
That's
guess
what
you
you
could
wanna
say.
call 'em.
Because they're mainly on their channels and on their streams playing Strikeout because they can get in, they can frag out, they don't have to think too much, they don't have to worry too much because they're going to respawn, and that's that at the end of the day. And then whenever you see these same people that bash the game at a point, playing with the developer in the PTS on a 6v6 game mode,
Yeah.
and of course getting praise for the
Not
6v6
talking
game
any
mode.
shit.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't offer any of that. Yeah, that's exactly. They don't offer any of that talk when they're with the developers.
No.
As where I'm sure if developers heard some of the things we say, they would see it as us bashing it. Not at all. We're not bashing any of it. We just want this game to be the best that it can be.
Yeah. Well,
It's a great game and it could be better.
yes, we all saw the potential early on at what this could be. And it's got further and further away from that potential as updates have been released into the game.
Every update,
I
yep.
was about to say the same thing. I was enjoying it, but like every update has just like broken me more and more as I play the game.
Yeah.
And the whole extraction being pulled from the game, it hurts me so bad because I absolutely love.
That was one of our
extraction.
core game modes, man. It
So-
was a good game mode that we can get, 5
nice
games
war-
in a normal 2 demolition game.
Right, and it was a nice warm up, man. Like it is, and it may have been watered down demolition, but it was still a tactical mode.
I don't think it was that at all.
I don't think it was 100% watered down because I liked it the random points.
Well, and the fact that you're both attacking and defending at the same time, it's not really like demolition.
Yeah, but again, that's hurt a lot.
Yeah. But I was trying to refute it a little bit,
Mhm.
I think when they bring it back as a limited time mode, they're going to see a huge increase in numbers of people playing it.
Oh yeah.
Oh
They're
yeah.
like, ooh, extraction. I think if we're on their plan, we got to play extraction just so they see.
Yeah.
They're like, man, out of all the limited time modes, this extraction is blowing up.
I want to play extraction. I want to play dodgeball. That's pretty much it when it comes to limited time modes for me.
Yeah. Same.
Dude, there's so much information online and on Reddit, and I mean, why don't they just go in here and take a gander? If they don't know what to do themselves,
Yeah.
just come on. I mean, this guy's free advice right here. Some people you have to pay for this.
Yeah. I have no idea why they're neglecting the what they would consider the minority of the community that's probably actually a good 50-50 split.
Yeah,
They
the people
have
that are
all
actually playing it.
All the same resources that we have, and they have this where you compile everything for them if they want to listen to it.
Yeah. And they
I think
have
some of them though, when they read stuff like this, then they start throwing out those little backhanded compliments, like,
yeah, right.
well, it could have been 75. I mean,
Yeah, right. So that is all the community issues that we've seen this week, which of course there's going to be more in the future. So if you're interested in contributing, check the description below. Get a hold of us. We will absolutely feature it and talk about it here on the podcast. On the next episode of Broguecast, I'm going to be finishing the survey up, and we are going to do a full, comprehensive overview of the survey. So if you haven't taken the survey, the link is in the description below. Please be sure to do that. Spread it around. Get it out there into the world because people need to take it. We need as many people to take it as possible. That way we can get as much data as we possibly can.
unfiltered data.
Yeah, we're
break
not
up the fucking SWAT board on this shit.
Yeah, we're not going to bullshit it. I'm going to pull up the actual numbers and we're going to go through everything and look at it raw, like it's raw dog.
Ron Jeremy raw, dude.
Yeah.
Ew.
Hedgehog.
Yeah.
I took
Rocco
a survey
raw.
like 3 nights ago.
Hell yeah.
Good survey.
I mean, Thank you. Be sure to check that description for links to all the social medias. That's the easiest way to get in contact with any of us. So be sure to check that out. If you haven't already, please be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And if you know anybody that's interested in listening to a Rogue Company podcast, be sure to forward it over to them. We're going to be on all the podcast networks. Yes, it's coming to you hot and heavy. So you don't have to watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on whatever podcast service that you got. As soon as it goes live, I will be tweeting about it from my Twitter account and the Broguecast Twitter account. So be on the lookout for that. So yeah, this was episode 3 of the unofficial Rogue Company podcast, Broguecast. Thanks for watching, guys.